Painting tools. Painting tools. So what about painting tools? About painting tools, presets and options. What about painting tools and presets and options? By the way, Adobe Photoshop provides several tools for painting and editing image color. And the brush tool and the pencil tool work like traditional drawing tools, applying color with brush strokes. And tools like the eraser tool and blur tool and smudge tool modify the existing color in this image, by the way, and the options bar for each of these painting tools. You can set how color is applied to an image and choose from preset brush tips. And what about brush and tool presets? Brush and tool presets is meaning you can to save a set of brush options as a preset, so you can quickly access brush characteristics and you can use frequently. Photoshop includes several sample brush presets, and you can also start with these presets and modify them to produce new effects. And many original brush presets are available, by the way, for download on the web, and you can quickly choose presets from the brush preset picker in the options bar, and which lets you temporarily modify the size and hardness of a brush preset, and then save tool presets when you want to store customized brush tip characteristics along with setting from the options bar, such as opacity and flow and color. And what about brush tip options? Brush tip options is meaning along with setting in the options bar. Brush tip options control how color is applied, by the way, and you can apply color gradually with soft edges and with large brush strokes, with various brush dynamics and with different blending properties, and with brushes of different shapes. You can also apply a texture with your brush strokes to simulate painting on canvas or art papers. And you can also simulate spraying paint with an airbrush, and you can also use the brush setting panel to set brush tip options. And if you work with a drawing tablet, you can control how color is applied actually using pen pressure and angle and rotation or a stylus wheel, and you set options for drawing tablets in the brush setting panel and options bar. And so what about paint with the brush tool or pencil tool? Paint with brush tool or pencil tool. By the way, the brush tool and the pencil tool paint the current foreground color in an image, and the brush tool creates soft strokes of color, and the pencil tool creates hard edges lines. And note here in this point, the rotation tool, by the way, rotates the canvas, which can facilitate either painting. And we have steps. Step number 1, you should choose a foreground color firstly. Step number 2, you should select the brush tool. Step number 3, you should choose a brush from the brush panel. Step number 4, you should set tool options for mood, opacity, and so on in the options bar. Step number 5, you should do one or more the following. You should click and drag in the image to paint, and also you should draw a straight line and then click a starting point in the image, and then hold down shift and click an ending point. And when using the brush tool as in an airbrush, hold down the mouse button without dragging to build up color. And what about paint tool options? Paint tool options is meaning set the following in the options bar, and the options available vary with each tool, by the way. And you have many options here. We have mood and opacity and flow. Mood is meaning sets the method for blending the color you paint with the underlying existing pixels, and available modes change with the current selected tool. And paint modes are similar to layer blending modes. And so what about opacity? Opacity is meaning that sets the transparency of color you apply, and as you paint over an area, the opacity doesn't exceed the set level no matter how many times you move the pointer over the area, and until you release the mouse button. And if you stroke over the area again, you apply additional color, by the way, and equivalent to the set opacity, and the opacity of 100% is opaque. What about flow? Flow is meaning sets the rate at which color is applied actually as you move the pointer over an area, and as you paint over an area while holding down the mouse button, and the amount of color builds up based on the flow rate and up to opacity setting. And for example, if you set the opacity to 33% and the flow to 33% each time you move over an area, its color moves 33% towards the brush color, by the way, and the total will not exceed 33% opacity unless you release the mouse button and stroke over the area again. And also press a single number key to set a tool's opacity in multiples of 10%, and pressing 1 sets it to 10%, pressing 0 sets it to 100%. And press two number keys to set a specific opacity, and to set flow, press shift and number keys. So what about airbrush? Airbrush is meaning you can to simulate painting with an airbrush, and as you move the pointer over an area, you should to paint builds up as you hold down the mouse button, and the brush hardness, opacity, and flow options control how fast and how much the paint is applied, and then click the button to turn on or turn off this option. So what about auto erase? Auto erase is meaning pencil tool only. Pencil tool only. You can't use pencil tool only, and paint the background color over areas containing the foreground color, and then select the foreground color you want to erase and the background color you want to change to. And what about tablet brochure buttons? It's meaning you can't use stylus brochure to override opacity and size setting in the brush setting panel. And what about stroke smoothing? Stroke smoothing is meaning Photoshop performs intelligent smoothing on your brush strokes, and simply enter a value between 0 to 100 for smoothing in the options bar. And when you are working actually with one of the following tools, brush and pencil and mixer brush or eraser, by the way, a value of 0 is the same as legacy smoothing is in the earlier version of Photoshop, and higher values apply increasing amounts of intelligent smoothing to your strokes. And the stroke smoothing works in several modes, by the way, and then you should to clicking the gear icon to enable one or more of the following modes. We have many modes like bold string mode. Bold string mode is meaning paints only when the string is touched, and cursor movements within the smoothing radius leave no mark. And what about stroke catch up? Stroke catch up is meaning allows the paint to continue catching up with your cursor while you have pushed the stroke, and disabling the smooth stops paint application as soon as the cursor movement stops. So what about catch up on stroke end? Catch up on stroke end is meaning completes the stroke from the last paint position to the point where you released the mouse and stylus control. What about adjust for zoom? Adjust for zoom is meaning prevents jittery strokes by adjusting smoothing, and decreases smoothing when you zoom in the document, and increases smoothing when you zoom out. Like this image now, this screenshot now. Explain for you, it is 50% smoothing here now. And how to select a cursor preference. How to select a cursor preference? By the way, the painting tools have 3 possible cursors, and the standard cursor is the icon from the toolbox, and a cursor here plus, and a cursor that matches the size and shape of the currently selected brush tip. And you have steps here now. Step number 1, you should choose edit firstly, then choose preferences, then choose cursors if you use Windows, or Photoshop, then choose preferences, then choose cursors if you use macOS. Step number 2, you should select the desired cursors, impose the painting cursors area and the other cursors area, and the sample cursors change to reflect your choices. And for a brush tip cursor, you can to choose a size and whether to include a cursor here in the cursor. And normal brush tip restricts the cursor size, by the way, to areas of the brush stroke that above 50% or more opacity. And full size brush tip sizes the cursor to the entire area affected by the brush stroke. And for soft brushes, this procedure, this produces, by the way, a larger cursor size than the normal setting, and to include the areas of the brush stroke with lighter opacity. And to combine different types of cursors, you should select show crosshair in brush firstly, or show only crosshair while painting. Or for the pen and brush tools, press the caps lock to toggle between the standard cursor and the crosshair.